podcast. And man, we're back with another one and a quick one at that. Yo, hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. And as always, subscribe if you got the time. And we appreciate your love, man. We're going live tonight. Again, remote style, not our normal setup and everything with the full-blown screens and flip back and forth. We're just gonna rock out like this, man. We're gonna keep doing this more casually, flip through the, remote style, phone style, you name it. And then we'll always bring you back our normal studio flow, especially when we get back to our next live fight chat. But before that, appreciate everybody for rocking out with us last night, especially before we went on date night for the Jake Paul show, Julio Cesar Chavez. Yo, Babyface, Drew, what's up, baby? What's going on? Appreciate you rocking out with us. Just getting started here. So tonight's going to be, we'll probably do a little bit of time here and getting here and to talk about a few things, right? Appreciate everybody for rocking out last night because it was a hell of a moment. Julio Cesar Chavez, Jake Paul had their thing going on. And we saw a good night of boxing. It was an overall card that was pretty good, pretty amazing. Knockouts for the most part all the way through, except for the Gilberto Ramirez fight. It was pretty good. And obviously the Jake Paul fight went all the way. Yeah, bro, most definitely. Chavez Jr. and I mean, let's get into it, right? Chavez Jr. kind of did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Emotionally, my man does not like to get up for these kind of fights for whatever reason that Chavez has got going on. He has a hard time emotionally driving himself to deliver a top tier performance in these kind of fights, and it was kind of perfect for the likes of Jake Paul. As we was covering it live last night, y'all. I mean, it was about as expected. Like, you got to have the emotional drive, you got to have that connection, you got to have that. What we kept saying last night, the momentum. You got to have that momentum to have this fight going, and to beat a guy like Jake Paul, even with the skill set that Julio Cesar Chavez possessed. He's got the skills, he's got the bloodline. Y'all could hear it on the pay-per-view last night, man. They were trying to really amp up Julio Cesar Chavez and get him to going, but brother let him get smacked, like you said, Babyface. He let Jake Paul put hands and feet up on him for the 8 rounds. Like, he was almost nervous, and I get it was ring rust for Chavez, but we saw when we got later in them rounds, when Chavez finally opened up, what happened? He started having success. And I know Jake said he wasn't going to get, hurt, but what's going on, Jonathan? And I know, Jake said he wasn't hurt like that or anything, but the body tells no lies, bro. Body tells no lies. That brother was getting hurt left and right. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was putting hands and feet on him towards the end of that fight. After 8th round, 9th round, I thought Chavez Jr. had a chance to stop Jake if he could press a little bit more, but you get tired, man. It's hard, bro. It's hard. And I wish Chavez Jr. would have pressed a little bit harder. Yo, Jonathan, what's going on? You said you're from Southern Louisiana? Yo, appreciate you rocking out with us. LeBron. So I wish he would have just pressed a little bit harder, man. I wish Julio Cesar Chavez would have did what he did past round 8 and on. Had did that earlier, we would be talking about a whole different thing today. We'll be talking about how great Chavez Jr. is and how it's great to have him back and he's refocusing the sport of boxing and bigger fights going on for himself. That would have been a hell of a story to talk about today. But what we have to talk about today is, I guess I got to put some respect on the name of Jake Paul. I mean, he's really a fighter now, I guess. He's really out there, you know what I'm saying? And you're right, Babyface. Chavez definitely sold this fight. We all thought he was going to go in there and do his thing. And he did towards the end, I guess. He showed us a glimmer of hope. And as everybody was rooting for him, I wish I could have been in that. The crowd sounded amazing through the live cast. But now I got to put some respect on Jake Paul's name. And that's what we're talking about tonight, man. We got that going on. We've got the Brian Norman Jr. and Devin and Dream Haney. I mean, what in the hell is going on in the sport of boxing? This is a great time to be in this thing. It's a great time for us to get this thing popping and growing. You know what I'm saying? It's getting crazy out there. We started with Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight. Jake calling out everybody from any weight class, from heavyweight on down. Like you said, Babyface. He called out Anthony Joshua. He called out Ja Apataya. He called out Gilberto Ramirez, who was on the card. He called out, obviously Gervonta Tank Davis. We all know Tank Davis wanted some of that back then when he got beat by the likes of Lamont Roach. We didn't think that was going to happen. Salute to that man. He called out everybody, right? But now at the same time, I'm saying I got to put a little respect on Jake Paul's name. I do want him to watch his damn mouth because there's no way he's going to get in there and fight the likes of Anthony AJ Joshua. Anthony AJ Joshua, as chinny as he is, will smack, and it'll be nasty in that ring. I think we can all agree on that. Anthony AJ Joshua is still nothing to play with. I still want to see him and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Ja Apataya would break Jake Paul's jaw, just like he did Claudio. Ja Apataya is something serious. That man from New Zealand is a warrior and a monster in the cruiserweight division. It's nothing to play with. Even Gilberto Ramirez, who I think doesn't have as much power as Ja Apataya, will clearly outmuscle, outwork, and probably also stop the likes of Jake Paul. Now, the one person I did hear him call out, obviously, is the likes of Gervonta Tank Davis. I think, that's a circus fight. No one wants to see that kind of gross, that gross of a weight difference. Hey, Miraz, appreciate you rocking out for Pakistan. Y'all be safe out there. No one wants to see that circus fight, right? Gervonta Tank Davis. Come on, no one wants to see that. But the one person I did hear him call out that's probably a decent fight for Jake Paul was Badu Jack. And that's only because the age of Badu Jack, right? He's up there in age. Father Time is undefeated. We all know that. Father Time takes us all down. It's hard to continue the same skill set. If this was the Badu Jack maybe 5 years ago, he would wax the likes of Jake Paul. But I think that's a decent fight, decent scrap. That's the only one I heard him call out last night that was actually doable, reasonable, and within his realms. You know what I'm saying? And that's only because of the age. And it's reasonable because Badu Jack does business with MVP Promotions. But I will go ahead and say it again. I will put some respect on Jake Paul's name. I did pick him to win. Prior to the whole everything going down, we did watch our 3-minute fight drills, our 3-minute fight breakdowns. Man, we did pick him to win, but I didn't expect him to look as decent as he did, though. He looked like an actual boxer. Even when Chavez wasn't engaging as much as we thought he should, I think he still looked decent. You know what I'm saying? I'll put some respect on his name because that coming off the couch right now, I couldn't pick up and do what he did tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It would definitely take years and years and years, and hell, maybe never get to the level that he's been fighting at. He's a big boy, and he's naturally was athletic. I don't know if many people know his background, but he played a lot of sports and everything. But that's tough for any man. So I got to respect him as a man, getting in the ring and taking on real fighters, real men, real warriors, whether MMA or boxers, taking these real punches, man, and putting on for the sport, and more importantly, the promotion. The card they had last night was actually amazing. If you watched it all the way through, I know the replays are now out. We rocked out. Everybody who was with us live last night, appreciate that. What's up, Werner? He said Jake should fight Mexican style boxing fight that can take damage, or fight a Mexican style that would take damage. That would be interesting. Yep. Why you say somebody's surprised, Jeff, that he was fighting last night? And then when you're throwing a jab, cross, really engage your hips and punch through the cross, you'll never, you ever let a little, funny. And then shout out to Gabe. So, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Forever has that birthday today. Let's get back into it. So, yeah, I'll put a little respect on Jake's name. I got that, right? He did what he did. He's doing what he can do. Salute to that man. Salute to that warrior. But let's talk about that card. This is one thing I'm going to give Mr. Jake Paul some credit on. He put together a hell of a card. MVP Promotions all last night. We had, 3 out of 5 knockouts. Floyd Austin. Floyd Austin. Mixed his whole name up, y'all. I'm sorry. Floyd Schofield, a.k.a. Mr. Kid Austin, put on a hell of a show. You watched it with his live reaction when he got that first round knockout against Tevin Farmer. Like, what in the hell is going on? Like, you read the title. Like, we were like, what WTF? What the fuck's going on in boxing right now, right? What's going on? Because it's a lot. The sport is growing. It's a great time for us to be here. We saw Kid Austin start the show off. Knockout, first round, Tevin Farmer, veteran. Never been done like that in his damn career, period. Went to war with William Zepeda. Thought he was going to walk down the likes of the young man, the young warrior, outclass him as a veteran. We did pick Schofield to win, but not like that. Again, it was a split decision. We thought he was going to win. Beats this man the way he did that William Zepeda wished he could have done. Now we've got Shakur Stevenson calling him out again and clowning his performance and saying it wasn't everything. And I think we got something interesting baking again. Now, I don't want all the theatrics and the damn circus that went with the first fight, February 22nd, 2025, where these brothers pulled out of that fight. But I do want to see these two men go into it again. I think we got something brewing now. I think we got something real interesting at the 135-pound division. I would like to see if Shakur Stevenson, now, not that he would take that kind of shot, because I think Shakur is way smarter than the likes of what Tevin Farmer did. I think he would have played that a little bit safer. He would have moved out a little bit better. He would have tested the waters a little bit smarter, and he's a very defensively sound boxer. So that hit that Floyd landed would not land on Shakur. However, I would like to see how the fight breaks down as it goes, as Shakur takes some body shots and some of that power from the young fighter, that young man who showed some crispness, showed some precision with his shots, and showed some power, obviously. It's going to get interesting. But more importantly, let's say the Shakur's fight doesn't happen. This is why boxing is interesting right now. Abdullah Mason also got called out last night. That young man, that young warrior. It was, yeah, and I agree, Babyface. I don't think we got to see everything that we would like to see out of Floyd Schofield to see where he's really grown. But what I did catch for that 1 minute of the fight, if you look back at it, look how precise that shot landed. And then look how he fought off the back foot, which I was not expecting him to do. I expected him to actually try to walk down Tevin, being the stronger, bigger fighter. But look how he stepped back and how quick it came and how he read Tevin's body language. It shows that camp's been working on a few things. And obviously they have broke down the likes of Tevin. They've been watching him for a while. The Abdullah Mason fight is also there. We're going to see what happens. I mean, it's going to be Shakur Stevenson or Abdullah Mason, you know. And again, it's a great time for boxing, because either of those fights, either of those matchups, to me, is either, obviously if it's Shakur Stevenson, it'd be probably the main event, depending on who they align them with, but definitely a co-main for sure. With Abdullah Mason, action-packed fighter. He is not scared to get hit. Obviously been knocked down in his career and has power to knock another man out. Yeah, baby, it was definitely a flush shot that he got up on him. These two men, Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield, right? That I'm probably more interested in that one, just because I know how Abdullah Mason could fight, the young king there, the young man, and not afraid to engage. I think we're going to get a very engaging fight, and that one will end. That won't see all 12 rounds. Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield, one way or another, whoever you want to pick to win, that doesn't see all 12. Period. That one, those two young men, those two young prospects, now contenders and champions in the case of Abdullah Mason, we're going to let their hands go. They're going to let them fly. They're going to keep pumping. They're going to keep fighting until it is over. That's a damn good fight. Didn't want to spend too much time on Floyd. We'll move on. We'll keep it moving. I am interested to see where he goes. And like you read the title, like what's going on in boxing, right? Because as we had this great card last night, and we had everything keep pumping and everything kept moving. And everything kept going, right? That dude getting knocked out in the last. Oh man, you're talking about you talking about Griffin? Babyface, you talking about how Griffin got knocked out? We can talk about that real quick. Rodriguez knocked him out. Julian Rodriguez. Literally in the 12th, I mean, what was that? It wasn't even 12th round. It was 10 rounds. If you heard us calling that one live, Griffin, and we started questioning the likes of Bomac, because I don't know what Bomac's instruction was to him. And if you don't know who Bomac is, you know that's Terrence Bud Crawford's trainer. Griffith is in the camp with Terrence Bud Crawford. That's his stable. That is his guy. No adjustments being made throughout the fight. He was getting hit too clean. He was fighting. It was a war. He was taking on the chin. But just because you keep taking shit doesn't mean you really learning and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Griffin, man, he was trying to fight smart. He was coming back towards the end of that fight and then got caught. And I called it right before he got knocked out. I said, man, this young man about to get knocked out, man. Getting knocked out real soon. And then sure enough, at the damn end of the fight, I mean, he got caught too clean. He didn't know when to stop. He didn't know when to stop. His speed was slow. I don't know if he was drinking the night before or what. He looked like somebody that had been partying. And you know, there's pictures already floating around of him, you know, being out with Bud Crawford during the Canelo press conference. Kenny Powers, I see your thing there. You said Canelo's gonna KO Bud. I don't know about the KO, but it will definitely be a good fight. Yeah, I fought before, Kenny. It's going to be a good fight between Canelo and Terrence Bud Crawford. We got plenty of videos on this. This live ain't really about them, but I'll say with the KO. Yeah, obviously Canelo can't knock him out, but I think we're going to see a 12-rounder there and a decision between these two men, between Canelo and Bud. I think there's no way Bud knocks out Canelo. I see a lot of people claiming that's going to happen. I just can't see it. Canelo's chin is granted. It's been proven. But I also think Bud's smart to stay out of the way of certain shots and carry this all the way through and try to swim without getting wet and punch effectively and smart, try to take this all the way down to decision, but while engaging. Either way, back to Griffith though, man. He just didn't know when to stop. And I know he was hurt though, you know, nose was clearly broken and a lot of blood with the cuts that he had. And I know he was just trying to put on the show. He was trying to show he had that heart. But after a while, the adjustments wasn't there in the corner to make him successful. And that's how he got really slept there at the end of that fight when he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have been in that position. Long story short. You say you do see Canelo. Now you say you really do see Canelo stopping Bud. Maybe by KO by stoppage. I can see that. I mean, I can see the stoppage from the likes of Canelo on Bud by accumulation of shots. Canelo's a known pressure type fighter, known, I'm going to say body puncher, but he also hits the arms, elbows, wrists. He kind of breaks you down. Shots that you think you're blocking and getting away from eventually start to wear you down when your arms start to drop. One of the biggest ones is to look at is how he did Callum Smith over that fight. I mean, really wore that arm out. I mean, popping it. And Callum, after a while, you start looking at his arm, it was swollen. He didn't even realize what was going on as Canelo was doing his thing. And that's one thing I want to point out with Canelo before we move on. A lot of people focus on Canelo's power. Canelo's smart. This is going to be a chess match between these two fighters. And Canelo doesn't just throw shots just to throw them. He's throwing them with a purpose to get you somewhere. And he's trying to set things up and break you down. And I hope Bud is, going to realize that. I know he's got the IQ and everything, but that's one thing everybody focuses on, that power, taking that power. But sometimes he's going to hit you with things to set up that longevity and try to get you out towards the end of the fight, or at least get you to where he needs you to be and slow you down, meaning Canelo Alvarez. He said Bud's just going to go up too high in competition. Never really fought anybody like Canelo, and Canelo has never seen anything. Canelo has seen everything, has fought the GOAT. That's true. He's fought the likes of Floyd. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be an interesting fight. I don't know. We got a lot of keys to victories. If you catch those out in other videos we've been breaking down how either man can win. No true prediction yet, but how either man can win this fight. taking away different keys from each other. One's going to engage on the stamina. I think Bud's going to have to attack Canelo's heart, like his stamina, his endurance, try to wear him out, make him waste shots. At the same time, Canelo's going to have to do what we all expect him to do: be smart and break down the smaller fighter who's never really took those kind of shots. Tack that body, tack them elbows, tack them arms, rough him up, make him know that you're in there with the big dog, and kind of engage that. I think Canelo needs to take away the jab. And I know it's not a Canelo show. Take away the jab. There's so much that can happen. That's why I really like this fight. I know a lot of people didn't at first, but man, there's a lot that can happen. It's going to be a tactical war, tactical fight. But salute to them. Yes, but back to Griffin. Griffin, he was close to winning that fight. I had him down on the card, but it could have went either way. I did have Julian Rodriguez winning regardless. It's just the KO sealed that deal. Daniel Berry, salute to you. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. So moving on, as everybody's seen the thumbnail, right? What's going on in boxing? We got the likes of Brian Norman Jr. Like if you're doing on the phone. Getting signed, sealed, delivered, right? And before we get into this, hit that like button. It's free. Help us grow. Help us get eyes on the show. And if you got a little time, subscribe. And really appreciate that love. Got plenty of videos and content. So let's keep rocking. Billy Smith, salute to you. You said, bet on Bud. The odds makers are dumb for making him the underdog. Crawford is undefeated. Canelo is on his way out. Maybe 5 years ago, I would say, bet on Canelo. I agree. I think the smart money, when I say smart money is on Bud because he's an underdog. And I think they're starting to make him a hell of an underdog soon. So if you want some bread, he can win. But I think respectfully, Canelo is the respectful favorite, should be the respectful favorite as the bigger champion, bigger size and everything. You're coming up to his division, 2 weight classes. I can respect him being the favorite for damn sure. But Crawford's a live dog in that fight and has his chance. And yeah, you said the better fighter doesn't always win. Tell the young fighters a lot. Sometimes the smarter guy, sometimes the tougher guy, sometimes the best endurance, most and definitely. Hey, I believe heavily in that endurance, Kenny Powers, because fatigue makes cowards of all men, no matter what sport it is, too. When it gets down and gets rough, that fatigue starts to set in, your endurance starts to go down. It makes you start doing things you didn't want to do. That's how Griffith actually got stopped as well. I don't know, Snow, what's going on? How you doing? It was, appreciate that love. Thank you. Fatigue make cowards of all men, and it can set you up to do things not smart, crazy, throwing punches that you didn't want to do. Doing great, brother. Doing great. It's big out there, but salute to that, Kenny. Yeah, you're definitely right on with that. You're right on with that. You said we're gonna watch the Berlanga. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna watch that card. I wouldn't mind going to the actual card. I'm trying to decide on that right now. Because I think it's gonna be a good event. New York, the big city. That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be a bad fight to go to. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad at all. But regardless, I am going to watch the fight one way or another. Either go to it, and I might do a live behind the scenes like we did for the. If you've seen our Abdullah Mason and shop when they went to Norfolk, so we went way out there and did some behind the scenes stuff with that. Thinking about doing the same thing for the Belonga. They, but yeah, either way, good fight. Belonga and Shiraz. That's going to be a hell of a good scrap. Like I said, what's going on in the sport of boxing today? Because I've never seen it pop the way it's popping right now, probably since the 90s, early 2000s. You got Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda. It's going to be a great night of boxing. That one, July 19th, I believe is the date. Can't wait to see that. Yes, sir. Long spawn like that. That's what that stuff is for. Like them long sponsors, Kenny Power. That's the reason. It's to set you up so you hopefully can grow that gas tank, keep having that big mileage built up on you, that you can keep fighting guys that are fresh. Because that in some days, you'll step in the ring, and then this guy, reason they throw the fresh fighters that you already know, you could be getting down to the end of this rounds. Like, for example, get back to Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez. After round 8, it looked like Chavez woke up and started letting shots go. You never know when somebody's gonna catch that second win in the fight, or has been duping you into thinking that they're losing their energy and dropping down. You know what I'm saying? You never know when that's going to happen, and you got to be ready to go. You got to get ready to push past that fatigue and endurance and make sure you've been managing your fuel tank and managing your energy, or at least know how to get it back to continue a fight. Billy Smith, you said they just noticed something that they said about Spence and they're saying about Canelo. Oh, the body shots, the power, and Crawford's IQ alone is been slept on. The only person with that high IQ is Floyd. I agree. Floyd is one of the smartest fighters um, I've seen, at least in the ring. Ring IQ is immaculate. His range ability is superb. Knowing the distance, knowing where he's at all times, knowing his foot placement is unmatched. You can say what you want to about Floyd, and everybody has their things about him, but he is one of the best ever to do it. He showed us that in the ring, not just in the ring, outside the ring. His dedication to working out, just like we were just talking about with Kenny Powers. His endurance was amazing. His work ethic was amazing. Um, there's not many people that can do what Floyd did in during his days in boxing. And that's just we'll never. I don't think it'll be years before we see anybody on that level again, and probably never. We'll probably never see a Muhammad Ali again, a George Foreman type. These people are once in a lifetime type talents that flow through the sport of boxing. But we might see some people that bring or elevate that level as we keep going. But I do know a lot of people lean on Bud doing the Floyd Money Mayweather plan against Canelo. Um, but I don't think he can do that. Only Floyd. That was Floyd. Floyd did that, but he can take some things and implement it to his style to make it work for him. I think he's trying to steal some things from Floyd, borrow some things from Bivol, um, probably borrow a few things from Laura as well, and then implement it into how he fights as a fighter. Because if he tries to do it just how they did it, he's going to get his ass beat. Simply because Canelo also was in the ring with those people and has learned from those losses. So you can't just copy what they did because Canelo's smart, like we just covered. He's seen it, he's absorbed it, checked it, took it in, is going to implement it on his game plan. And Canelo's head movement also superb. He said Kenny Floyd versus Connor. Floyd gave rounds away. Yep, and pushed the pace to make Connor work. Sure did. And when it came down that, just like that, when he pushed him towards the end, he duped them into that. Make you burn them energy, make them burn them shots, and then just kept pushing. And then Floyd gas tank was amazing. But let's get into it. I know we've been trying to get into it for a minute. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below if you got the time. As you already heard, Devin Dream Haney going to be getting it on with Brian Norman Jr. That's going to be a great fight, great scrap, right? Continuing what the sport of boxing is doing. Shout out to Turkey Al-Sheet to at least wait until the Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez fight was done and signed, sealed, delivered to announce this fight. Because you don't want to step on everybody else's toes that's been going on. Like we said, we had Floyd Schofield do his thing last night. You want these young fighters to keep getting their glory and not to be overshadowed by new news. And yes, we want to always see what's going on next, but wait a couple of days. But at least he waited till Sunday. And we're all interested, right? Devin Dream Haney, Brian Norman Jr., Stormin' Norman went over to Japan, knocked out the likes of Jen Sasaki. Well, it was about a week or so ago. We can say what we want to say about Devin the Dream Haney. Whether he ran or not during the Ramirez fight, give or take. I think William Skull took the cake for everybody that weekend. But the one thing I'll say about the Haneys, specifically Devin, is they duck no fight, no action, no smoke. They will take whatever fight they get. I don't know what's in them. I don't know what they're made of, but they will take any fight. They tried to get the Teofimo Lopez fight in August. And, Teofimo backed out of that because some money issues, but Devin Dream Haney signed their part. They were ready to go. And now look at the road. November this year, he's getting a big scrap WBO championship shot at the likes of Brian Norman Jr. 147-pound division. Everything's going to be signed. Like, it's going to be legit. No catch weight, no nothing. Salute to that man. Salute to that warrior for taking this fight. Now, with that said, this is dangerous. I know we're all high on what Brian Norman Jr. just did to Jen Sasaki, knocking him out with that bad left hook, but it's not even just a left hook that I saw from the likes of Brian Norman Jr. Salute to that man. It's the patience. It's the precision. It was how he set up those hooks. And yeah, I'm not going to write too much on Jen Sasaki too much. Yes, he was ranked in the 147-pound division, but let's all be honest. He's no Devin the Dream Haney. Devin Dream Haney is a nice boxer. Definitely come onto his own in the top contender status, undisputed champion from the lighter weights, but now moving up in these bigger weights. He's definitely making his bones. Yes, he got beat by the likes of Ryan Garcia, Osterine. He got beat. But I think he learned from the loss to Ryan Garcia about seeing, keeping that hand home, keeping that left hand home. After he jabs, he would just leave it out there and admire his work. Don't admire your work. It's just like basketball. Don't just shoot the three and admire your work. Shoot that long two, try to admire your work. Get back on defense. And I think Devin and his team's been working on that. Yes, they moved a little bit too much during the Ramirez fight, but this is still a dangerous fight either way because of what Brian showed. It's his patience and his IQ and the fact that he's a boxer puncher as well. And he's got natural power. We can't deny the natural power that he has. Doesn't mean he's going to knock out Devin or anything like that. I'm just saying Devin's going to have to be worried about it. I think he's going to adjust his game plan, how he comes into this fight. And more importantly, he's going to have a man that can actually box with him. And what Kenny Powers just said, with Devin being good and that he outboxed Ryan. Because if you look at the fight, in the rounds that he didn't get knocked down in, he won. He was winning the boxing game. He was just losing the war. And when it gets down to this fight with with Brian Norman, I don't think he can rely on just being the better boxer because Brian is good as well. He can box well. He's a better boxer than Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is a natural talent. He's fast. He's got that speed. He's got that nice left hook. But Brian is quick too. But more importantly, he's got boxing IQ and knows how to set up his shots a little bit better. This one's going to be a damn good fight and a chess match between both of these young fighters and young warriors. Salute to boxing for finally getting something else right for us. Salute to boxing for getting us a fight that we didn't know we really wanted. I didn't know I really wanted this fight until now I'm getting it. Like, it's these type of fights that keep growing the sport of boxing, challenging these young fighters. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about losing. Let's get beat, get some experience, and let's keep fighting. Make this sport continue to grow. They'll continue to get paid, and the fans continue to get the value for their money. I think it's going to be a damn good fight, man. Yes. Let me read some of this. What you got, Kenny? Oh, you think he's got to get away from his dad? I think his dad being in his corner is good for him. But as far as a trainer, if you're talking about training style and training wise, I can rock with that. I can agree. He does need to open up a little bit more. I know he's got. I don't know if Mosey's still over there anymore after the comments they made, but I thought he was still with him. But yeah, I can see that. And with Roach versus Tank, didn't know I needed that fight exactly, right? I didn't know I needed Roach versus Tank until it actually happened, like in the ring, because we called it live, and I got more excited as that fight kept going because I was really blah on it. I thought Tank was going to walk in and do his thing. And speaking of Tank Davis, right? It's time for Tank to get some of this action. Like, yes, I think he's got business to clear up with Lamont Roach. I think they got to get this done, settle it. I don't know if Roach has got his number. I know they know each other from the amateurs and everything. They got a lot of history. When you got that history, you kind of know a guy like that. But it's time for Tank to get some of this action. It's time for Tank to see what's going on because these young guys is smoking. Devin the Dream Haney smoking, getting a Brian Norman Jr. fight, 147-pound division, going for that WBO championship, about to be a 3-weight division champion if he can pull this thing off. It's like, brother, look what they're doing. Abdullah Mason moving up quick. Floyd Schofield fighting. Just got some experience with Tevin Farmer, who, if anybody remembers, Tevin Farmer and Gervonta Tank Davis was supposed to get it on years ago, and it never happened. See what the likes of Teofimo Lopez is doing. Yes, he's a little crazy, a little out there, but the brother's doing his thing as well, getting these big fights. It's time for Tank, and I think Tank is the most talented out of just about all of them, natural, skill-wise, and talent. I just think he's got it, but for some reason they're not. I know he's got loyalty to, and shout out to PBC. They're just not putting him where I think he should be, man. He should be up there like one of the greats. He should already been he should have been undisputed before any of these guys. He should have had a lot of these belts for these guys, a lot of these shots before these guys. He's been around longer. He's got the skill set. He's got the knockouts. He's got the look. He is like what you would think in a pure boxer, and especially now that he's rededicated himself. I think he needs to take a page and look at what Devin the Dream Haney is doing, what Brian Norman and them are about to do here, November 2025. About to make some history here, hopefully. It's time. It's time, man. Salute to boxing, though, man. Salute to everything, getting it right. You said who wins, Bivol or Jake Paul? I ain't gonna answer that one. Man, come on now. Let's stop it. We gotta put some respect on Bivol's name. We gotta put some respect on Bivol's name. Tank messed up overlooking Lamont. I think he did. I think he downplayed it. I think because he thought he knew who Lamont Roach was and seeing him in amateurs, he would just figure it out, change up a few things, walk in the park, and go get the Jake Paul fight. I don't think he was really focused mentally on that fight. But with Brian Norman, I mean, we're marching down the road. You got Brian Norman Jr., Devin Dream Haney. Who do y'all see winning that fight? And most skill between the two. You know what I'm saying? That's the real question here tonight. Is like, and is this the fight that y'all even wanted to see, or did you prefer the Teofimo Lopez Devin Dream Haney fight? Personally, now seeing what I'm seeing, I personally like this Brian Norman fight. I think Teo, they would have never found a good weight. I don't think it would have been as exciting as this Brian Norman Jr. fight could be. There's a threat there. There's a power there. But I think the build-up to the Teofimo Lopez would have been crazy. I definitely want to see the rematch as well. I'm not sure it's going to happen at the same size, though. Unless you're saying same size as 147, Billy. I could definitely see it happen at 147 for sure. Yeah, I think both of them now have outgrown 140, which is crazy. That was quick. They only gave us 2-3 fights. Well, Ryan kind of was around 140 for a while, or catch weights at 140. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below if you got the time. And if you got a lot of time, subscribe. Man, we got plenty of videos, pretty breakdown. We're gonna wrap up here shortly in a little bit. We just want to do a quick take on, Brian Norman Jr., Devin Dream Haney getting assigned to deliver. We'll be actually dropping some videos either tomorrow or Tuesday about our breakdown. We got to edit them and chop them up and everything. We'll be dropping those out. Our quick early takes on that, obviously with the Floyd Schofield, Shakur Stevenson potential lineup, or Abdullah Mason. It's a great time. It's a damn great time. We got Canelo, Terrence Bud Crawford coming. I mean, we're about 2 months out from that. You got Manny Pacquiao, Marios, Barrios about to get it on July. You've got Hamza Shiraz, Edgar Berlanga about to get it on. William Zepeda, Shakur Stevenson about to get it on. We got women's boxing. We got Amanda Serrano and Taylor about to get it on for the third time. You've got one of my favorite fighters, Miss Alicia Baumgartner, coming out and making her stance and actually preparing herself to get ready to take on the winner of Amanda Serrano and Taylor. It's this next 3-4 months of boxing, man. It's about to be crazy, and we haven't even seen everything signed, still delivered. We got Moses Atamo and Dillian the bodies or former body snatcher White about to get it on. I got Moses, I think, whitewashing him, not knocking him out, but this is boxing. Anything could happen. Um, you think Pac-Man's about to get beat? You think he's about to get beat? I love me some Barrios, man. Barrios a real fighter. And salute again to the sport of boxing for taking care of real fighters who show up to fight. He's always gonna give you entertaining fights. Salute to that man. Um, the Barrios Pac-Man fight is interesting. I've got a video we got to edit for that. We'll probably drop in a week or so about our first look, first take against Barrios and Pac-Man. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a dangerous fight for Pac-Man, especially at this age. What is he, like 47, if I'm not mistaken? 46, 47. Hasn't been in the ring over 4 years. Barrios could seriously hurt the likes of Pac-Man. We saw what Ugas did, and that was 4 years ago, plus actually. But then again, we saw what Pac-Man did to Keith One-Time Thurman. Maybe he's well rested. Maybe he's ready to go. But from the videos I've been seeing, man, he looks old. He looks like I expect a high 40-year-old fighter, especially one that's been through wars that he's been through, to look like. It's going to be an interesting fight. I can see Manny pulling it off. Especially, it's really going to be up to Barrios, what type of Barrios we see that night. If he's going to be focused and leave the outside stuff alone and show up to that fight. But it's going to be an interesting fight, I guess. The undercard is amazing, though. They got a nice little undercard starting to brew there. So that's going to be something to watch. I think everybody's really going to tune in for the undercard. Shout out to PBC on that one. You said if he went, it would be crazy. Because I think, and I see what PBC is doing, because you can already see what they're building that fight up to be between him and Barrios. They're already selling him as like potentially be one of the oldest fighters to win, like trying to amass what George Foreman did. You know what I'm saying? And Bernard Hopkins. It would put him in the categories of some of the greats and make him one of the greatest of all time. That's what they're selling it as. And it could happen, man. It could be true. I hope it's all on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? I hope the fight is all, it's legit. The scorecards are legit. The fight's legit. No one's coming in there and take a dive. I really want Barrios to come in there and respect him outside the ring. But when they in the ring, put no respect on that. I know he's a legend, but you got to come in there and do what you got to do as a fighter. And if he wants to come back and fight for your championship belt, don't just roll over because he's a champion or a former champion, a Hall of Famer. Put hands on him. Put hands on him. But that's going to be an interesting fight. I'm not sure over these next few fights which ones I'm more interested to see in the sport of boxing right now, which one's going to be the most exciting. Because the ones I start thinking are going to be the most exciting. Hell, I get my mind blown by something I wasn't expecting. I'm oddly, not oddly, definitely interested in Canelo, but Crawford. I think that's still the biggest fight of the year so far. It's going to be an interesting fight of the year. I hope it lives up to the hype. There better not be no running. I want to see Crawford fight smart. Oddly, though, I think Hamza Shiraz and Edgar Berlanga might be a fight of the year type low-key fight. And I'm also forgetting about Daniel Dubois and Usyk. That's going to be a damn good fight as well. That actually could be another one as well. I'm interested in Daniel Dubois, Usyk. I think Usyk takes it again. Smart, good ring IQ. It's going to be tough, but Daniel could do it. Yeah, I saw him fight last year. Pacquiao did fight last year was it Risen? And that dude he fought is not even as nowhere on the level as Barrios, or should not be. And Pacquiao struggled, and obviously struggled because of the size difference as well. And it wasn't looking too good. You could see it in Pacquiao's face after they got done and said what they got to say for the fight. and having Pacquiao raise his hand, but you could tell like the sport of boxing is brutal, man. 4 years out, you 48. Come on, man. It's tough, but salute to him for trying. So you said to go boxing. Thank you. Yeah. So 20. Hey, by the way, shout out to you, Pepsi A. 20 years old, want to become strong. Is there any advice to go boxing? Yeah, if you want to, I would say as far as strength, and it depends on what type of strength you're talking about. There's all types of strength. Some people think strength is just weightlifting and everything. As far as boxing goes, in any type of combat sport, you name it, really that strength starts to come into endurance. So yeah, I would say yeah, if you want to get strong all around, I think boxing, and even if it's just training in boxing, is one of the best sports you can train in to get your body built all the way around, natural, athletic. Um, you'll get strength naturally by different weightlifting and movement stuff like that. I would start actually going to the gym. Try a few things out. They got local heavy bags and stuff around the way. Throw you a couple punches, practice in the gym. I'm sorry, at the house, or do some running as well. So that right there will get you started, getting your cardio going, jumping rope, getting used to it. Then hit your local boxing gym, and brother, they'll get you going. Your cardio. Reason I'm hyping up on cardio, because if you go to any boxing gym for training, they're gonna hit you with that cardio. You're gonna do a lot of running. You don't want to fall out on day one. Yeah, we watched the. I did watch the Wilder fight, um, and I'm a Wilder fan. Been a Wilder fan for a while. I've been to majority of his fights. I went to the Fury fights. They were amazing in person. Um, but I watched the I went back and I watched it twice. I watched him in the Terrell Herndon fight. Um, I'm okay with what he looked like. I know a lot of people are downing him right now. Um, Deontay looked technically a little better, as much as he could look. I mean, you got to look at when he started and everything. And shout out to my man Pepsi, who was saying he wanted to get into boxing. Uh, if you want to look at how to start late, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder started about the same age you're at right now, 20. He started, I believe, right at 19, and did it for his daughter. Um, you look at where he started, and he has that lower skill set. It's clearly there. You saw it in the fight, and he just hasn't grown in certain skill sets, and he just can't, because it's he's fought the way he's fought for so long, got comfortable with that right hand, that strength. Um, and everything. There's a few things they can't implement. I think him and his coach, they did work on a few things. Thank goodness Malik Scott's out of there. No disrespect, but his jab looked better. His balance looked better, meaning Deontay Wilder. Um, yeah, Billy, he fought Friday, the 27th, in Wichita, Kansas, and he looked better. But man, it's it's like his emotion is gone. That's the best way I can say it. His emotion is gone. And like we talked about earlier, if you want to be in the sport of boxing, it's not about just skills and skill set and all that, and having power. It's about IQ, and the other hidden X factor is emotion, fighting on that strength, fighting on your confidence. When your confidence is high, ask Daniel Dynamite Dubois. Daniel Dynamite Dubois got his ass whipped by Usyk and Joe Joyce. Got that eye socket broke. His confidence went down. He didn't know what he could do anymore. He had all the skill set. He had all the strength. It wasn't until the Jarrell Miller fight he got his confidence back, that he could actually take blows and fight for rounds and rounds and rounds, and his endurance can hold up. He beat Jarrell Miller, beat Philip Hergovich, smoked AJ, all because of his confidence. He is less skilled than some of them. He's less skilled than AJ, but he had good power. He put his power together, but more importantly, he had his confidence and emotion. He fought with enthusiasm. And I said all that to say, man, watching Wilder on Friday, June 27, 2025, man, I love that brother. I love him as a fighter. Um, I'll still support him, go to all his fights, but he's got to get that old energy back. He's never been a great fighter. He's never been the most skilled fighter. He knew that, but he always had that oomph, that power, that X factor that carried that energy, man. And that's really what carried him through all his fights. When he was about to get knocked out by Luis Ortiz in that first one, you saw that seventh round. he had something just clicked in him, man. A monster came out of him, and he battled through that, and the confidence rose up even more. Even though he didn't have the skill set, he kept throwing that hand, throwing that bomb, and you know, he just the confidence since them Fury fights, man. I think the Fury fight took a lot out of him physically. You know, I love the fights; they were a great, trilogy. Like I said, I was in the building for those, and they were amazing. The atmosphere was amazing. Shout out to the UK, man. I mean, y'all got some of the best damn fans. Um, it took a lot out of him physically and mentally, the confidence. And I see what I guess as TMRX said, he got exposed. And it kind of did, right? I'm not sure if it was just exposed, but it was he took a bruising to his confidence. He took a bruising to the ego. And when you're confident, you've been knocking all these guys out. No one can stop you, and people been pumping you up, man. You take that kind of loss, and especially that kind of beating from a man that you didn't think could beat you like that, and had that kind of power. His confidence went down, and he now knows he can get knocked out. That's what happened. Now he's second guessing. He didn't believe he can get knocked out before. He didn't believe any man can walk through his punch before. Now he knows that somebody can. It got it, got figured out. Somebody showed you how to beat him. Now everybody else knows how to kind of exploit that. They just need to readjust. That's why he needs a really good coach on his side. He's got some skills that they can adjust and switch the game plan. And people think they're going to come and beat him the same way that Fury did. We'll find out differently. But they never adjusted, and that's how he got beat by Zhang as well. He said he went to war 3 times, man. He left it in the ring. He left everything he had in there, physically, mentally, emotionally. Um, and that's why I'm saying that's why he looked. You saw him fight Friday. He just looked like he didn't have it no more. And I don't mean by skill set and physically. I mean physically, he looks great all the time. Brother's always in shape. But emotionally, like that get off the line, like you said, maybe he left everything, every little bit of him in that ring. He said, Pepsi A, in my opinion, in boxing, my opinion, what is important thing when you fight? Defense and keeping that hand home. We were just talking about that with Devin the Dream Haney. Hopefully he's learned what you see the thumbnail here is, Norman and Haney about to get it on November. Shout out to Box for getting it right. One of the most important things in boxing, period, is defense. Outside of endurance, I really love like endurance and making sure you're physically in shape and ready to go and having your mentality together. If you're just talking about skill set wise, it's just making sure you're defensively sound and responsible. Because you can get caught with anything, but staying disciplined, bringing your hands back home when you jab, bringing it right back. When you punch, don't just sit out there and admire your work. You know what I'm saying? No problem. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below if you got the time, man. Subscribe if you got the time. We rocking out. We got a lot of videos, a lot of breakdowns, predictions videos, 3-minute fight drills, first looks, you name it. We working for 2025. Sport of boxing is growing, man. We love this thing. It's a hobby for us, and what better way to spend it? Talking about it, rocking out with it, and definitely appreciate all you out there supporting and tuning in, and definitely. Commenting back and forth, man. We really love this. We're a small channel, but we're going quick and fast. We're gonna rock out for a few more minutes and then get ready for the rest of the night. So with speaking of Fury, by the way, while we were talking about Fury, um, I think as much as the Fury fights took out of Deontay, I think it also took it out of Fury. I think Fury's fighting spirit, even though he's a fighting man, a fighting warrior that will do what he's got to do. I think his body was weary after that, and clearly his punch resistance is gone. He doesn't have it anymore. I mean, Usyk could have knocked him out, man. Really could have knocked him out. Yo, appreciate that, River Rat. Appreciate it. Yeah, keep rocking out with us, man. We're trying to get better out there too. Any advice, edits out there you got for us, guys, or any special videos y'all want to see us do, any breakdowns, let us know too. Drop that in the chat. or drop it on any of our videos, man. We'll do special videos. We actually got one somebody had put out. They wanted us to cover Matias and why some of the guys have been avoiding Matias as he's getting ready to take on Puello. So we're actually going to do that video probably probably next week or so. He said, "Is Mike Tyson?" You might want to type that again. What about Mike Tyson, Pepsi? Yep. And Babyface, I agree. A lot of people turned on Devin, man. It's Devin. Yeah, Devin got a lot of flack for that loss, right? And respectfully so, because he talked himself into it. He got caught with that left hook, but a lot of people turned on him like he's not good anymore, and that's something that's big in sport of boxing. We don't throw no fighter away. Like you throw no fight away, and that's what's going to help the sport grow. Just like the MMA and UFC, right? I watched that as well. You had 317. That was a good fight last night. UFC rarely throws anybody away for a loss, and I think boxing, we're finally understanding that and getting there. And I think it's about time we have, you know, back all our fighters. You know what I'm saying? No matter who they are, they take a loss, they get in there and fight. You fight. If they fought their heart out and they came to give us entertainment, they came to give us, back and forth fighting styles, then, you support that warrior, you support that man, you support that woman. You got female fighting as well. If they come to fight, they came to fight. Devin Dream Haney took a loss, but he still has, a nice skill set. Who else lost recently? You've got trying to think of somebody else big. I mean, Ryan Garcia. We're going Ryan. Ryan, quote unquote, drug cheat. Took him a loss to Romero. You know what I'm saying? Do we throw Ryan Garcia away? And who is this? I ain't even paying attention to the chat. Raw Impact. Goodbye. All right. Yeah, we don't do that on this channel. Appreciate y'all for calling them out, by the way. Yeah, we don't do none of that. Definitely, I love all people, love all backgrounds, all fighters, no matter which culture you come from. That's what actually makes the sport of boxing great. Is the fact that you get to see multiple backgrounds, multiple cultures come together and experience, two warriors, whether it's male or females, come in and fight, show their heart, show their spirit, show everything they've been working on and practicing on, and put on a show for the people and the fans. And then more importantly, if you see in the background, if you've ever been to a fighting event, it's the cultures behind the scene that mix mingle. And that's what we get down with. But anyways, yeah, you got the likes of Ryan Garcia. You just don't know fighters away. You know what I'm saying? They keep fighting, they keep going. Yeah, Ryan might have messed up and everything, but he'll be back. Tevin Farmer just got knocked out first round. Can't write him off because that man is a warrior, a true fighter. You know what I'm saying? And he came out, took the fight. He thought he was doing something, and he got knocked out. And it is what it is. But I'd like to see Tevin Farmer come back. Definitely got to be a tune-up fight for him. But once we get there, and it's finally what's actually growing the sport of boxing, no one cares about the losses anymore. Definitely hit that like button. It's free. Comment below if you got the time, and subscribe if you also got that time as well, man. We really appreciate that love. My dream matchup, to be honest, still one of my dream matchups right now, as far as in current times and active boxers. It's still AJ versus Wilder. I don't even know why, because they're both. It's just, especially now, they're both susceptible to get knocked out. You don't know who's going to win that one. I think I favor AJ a little bit right now because he still has a nice skill set, still good power. He's just chinny. I still want to see that fight. If you ask me for a dream matchup right now, it'll be them. Throughout time, it'll be Big Daddy Bo and Lewis. I would love to have seen that fight actually go down. That would have been a good heavyweight scrap if they actually ever pulled that off. And you think Jared? Yeah, Jared Anderson. Yeah, I agree with that. I think some people have been writing him off. I think some people have been writing off Jared Anderson because of how he got beat by Martin Bacoli. To be honest, that was a quick salute to him for challenging himself. And like I keep saying, like this new crop of fighters, man, these young guys are really challenging themselves. I'm talking about the guys that are 25 and younger. Jeez Louise, they're really getting it on. They're putting boxing on notice. And with that said, Jared Anderson was one of those young guys. I think he's only 24, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 23. That might have been too quick of a move. And it just all happened is you ran into a nice veteran type fighter who you didn't know like that. A lot of people has been avoiding Martin Bacoli, and you found out why. He's tricky, he's slow, but his hand speed is quick and he's tricky. And he got caught. I think if they fought again, he would know how to actually fight that fight and not go into a slug match with Martin Bacoli and actually use his legs a little bit better and box smart and still be able to get good shots in. Because you saw what Efe Ajagba did in the second half of their fight. He was losing. He was about to get knocked out too by Martin. But then he started using his legs, using that reach, pumping it. Now, Efe has longer reach than Jared, but I think he's a lot quicker and his footwork is still good. So you like Davis when he plays, he's focused on defense. Truly, truly, truly true. Yeah, Davis will. He's smart, man. He's smart. I just want to see more about of him. I want to definitely see more about him. Do I think Fury is done and has he hasn't said he's retired, but he's acting like he's retired. He actually said Billy Smith. He actually came out and said he's retired, but this ain't the first time Fury's really done that. He's played with the retirement word before. I don't think he's retired legitimately. I think he's going to come back for one more good fight. With that said, I think Fury is, yeah, not the Fury that beat Klitschko for sure. Not the Fury that beat Deontay Wilder either. Um, like we were talking about earlier, those two men, I mean, they took life from each other. Everything they had, it's gone. From they left it in those trilogies, and they are not the fighters they were before they stepped into that trilogy. The best thing that could have happened to them physically was actually just stop at that draw. But they took it to the second and third fight, and that's a lot. I mean, look at what Marquez and Pacquiao did to each other. That's why I'm really worried about this Pacquiao coming back. I mean, they fought 4 times, wars. I mean, Pacquiao's been in a lot of wars, but that was a brutal one. You know what I'm saying? Marquez flatlined him in the 4th one. That was a brutal KO, and Pacquiao really hasn't been the same since. Um, Still a warrior though, true fighting man, Hall of Famer. But yeah, Fury's done though. I ain't gonna say he's done. I write no fighter off, but he's not what he used to be. And depending on who he fights next, he'll probably get good chance he gets beat. I know everybody wants the AJ Fury fight. Again, I still prefer AJ Wilder, but it is what it is. Hit that like button, it's free. Comment below if you got the time. And more importantly, subscribe. Check out our other videos and breakdowns and commentary. You name it, man. We're rocking out. It's a hobby for us. Small channel. We're going quick and fast. Appreciate all that love. Appreciate all the support. We're gonna rock out for a few more minutes tonight, and then we'll call it. Anything else y'all want to talk about? We've already covered, Brian Norman. We've covered Devin the Dream Haney getting it on November. boxing, what the hell is going on. It's a great time for us. This is weird for us to get this kind of special treatment. Shout out to Riyadh Season. Shout out to Turkey Alice Sheet. Shout out to PBC still putting on good content. I mean, Golden Boy's putting on stuff. MVP promotion. I mean, this is a great time for boxing fans. That's what's going on in boxing right now. I'm glad. I'm glad we are where we are. The fans are finally getting some value out the sport. You said the first fight between Wilder and Fury. Fury should have won when he put Fury on the canvas because Fury was out. Yeah, he was out. He was out. And like I said, I was there for that one. And live and direct. And a lot of us didn't understand what happened. We thought it should have been called, but it is what it is. He got up, beat the count, apparently. And here we are. Three amazing fights from both of them. The second fight, that second Wilder Fury fight, I'm not going to say it was shocking because no one ever did Wilder like that. I mean, he walked in and dominated, and then all the cheating accusations came about. So that's what made the third fight amazing. And then when that one happened, I tell you what, that third one was beautiful. That was good spirit that's true fighting, man. That's true boxing. And to my guy Pepsi, man, if you ever go watch back, if you haven't seen them and you want to learn like a lot about boxing, fighting spirit, not necessarily about skill set, one of the best skill set type trilogy, but Wilder Fury was a damn good recent trilogy. It shows you Heart of Men and how two men can lay it out on the line. Skill set, watch Floyd. Watch Canelo too. I would say Canelo, Floyd, Terrence Crawford. Watch and basically recent fighters. Bivol's talented. Usyk's a genius. I'm not big on Lomachenko, but he was definitely quick, good angles. But if you want to see a good, exciting trilogy, it was the Wilder Fury one as far as current times. And then watch the Manny Pacquiao Marquez as well. That will show you another warrior type trilogy as well, Pepsi. If AJ and Ruiz fight a third time, AJ smokes him. Probably knocks him out. They fight a third time, AJ knocks him out. Ruiz is too inactive, not disciplined. It's just, that's terrible. Yeah, Ruiz he's one of the most. That's another. And if you want to see a talented fighter who wasted their career, it was Andy Ruiz. He's talented, hand speed amazing. Never the best in shape looking as a heavyweight, but he came in shape. Like he fought to the end. Like he has good stamina and stuff, but he just after a certain while he just got after that AJ win, he just lost his mind, man, and lost his dedication. And his old coach Robles even told everybody when they did the split, it was because he kept trying to push Ruiz, getting ready for that second fight and everything, that Ruiz didn't want to show up anymore, didn't want to do the dedication. That's why he also got removed from the Canelo camp. So it's yeah, Ruiz wasted his time, man. Talented guy that wasted his time. Yeah, the AJ fight, man, went over his head, brother. Went over his head. Mega Matt, Floyd. Who doesn't know Floyd, apparently? I think we already covered Floyd, right? As far as skill set, watching him, he's the guy you need to go watch. You want to know how to box? Floyd, man. Floyd. Watch all his fights, all his pay-per-views. All right, we just crossed the hour mark. Man, I really appreciate everybody rocking out with us tonight. Before we get up out of here, smash that like button if you can. It's free, helps get eyes on the show. More importantly, check out our other videos, our other breakdowns. We got some stuff coming up for this week. We're going to do some more for the Brian Norman Jr. breakdown coming. We got some more for the Floyd Schofield video quick take. Obviously, some on the Julio Cesar Chavez, Jake Paul fight that just happened, and put in a little bit of respect on the name of Jake Paul. All in all, we got more videos coming, more content. We got a lot of boxing coming, man. We appreciate y'all rocking out with us tonight. Again, smash that like, subscribe if you got the time, and really appreciate that love. And always hit us up, man. DM us, send us anything you want to talk about, any special videos you want us to break down. You know, we'll do that. Anyways, until the next time, man, we appreciate everybody rocking out. Peace.